Happy Friday, everybody. I'm downstairs in one of South London's notorious gambling dens. Why? Because I'm about to open some Pinot Noir, and everyone tells me Pinot Noir, it's a lottery, it's a crapshoot, it's an easy way to waste a ton of money. So why do people keep coming back? Well, because when it's good, there's nothing to match it. The high rollers love it. They'll spend 4 or 5 figure sums chasing that elusive Pinot high. Unlike in a casino, spending a bit more does improve the odds in your favor, but you don't have to go crazy. I want to share a couple of tips with you to show how you can stack the deck a little bit more in your favor.
First thing to bear in mind is Pinot is personal. It's personal to the drinker, so take advice, but always be guided by your own taste. Don't throw a ton of money at wines that people tell you should like, but you can't stand. And it's very personal to the winemaker. Nobody starts growing Pinot to make a quick buck. It's not easy. You have to have a mixture of humility and obsessive attention to detail. You must be confident enough to do nothing and let the grape and terroir express themselves, but at the same time you can't afford to be lazy or take your eye off the ball for an instant. So for that reason, the most important rule of thumb when it comes to Pinot Noir is follow the talent. A sensitive winemaker can do great things, even with a humble vineyard in a so-so year, whereas someone without the gift can make a mess of even Grand Cru grapes grown in a dream vintage. Once you find that talent and it chimes with your personal taste, stick to those producers as a base. Of course, experiment, but if you keep some favorites up your sleeve, your success rate is bound to go up. This Burgundy is a case in point. Bergman started working with the Michelot family decades ago, and during that time the father has passed the reins to the daughter, and I've seen the wines take on even more grace and nuance. She makes a very wide range of Nuits-Saint-Georges, but this Vieilles cuvée is a blend of old vines around the village. Let's give it a go. Nuits tends to have a darker fruit expression than a lot of Burgundies. It's more on the blackberry, black cherry kind of end of the spectrum, and that's certainly true here. And the colour's reasonably dark and it's very expressive fruit, even for a relatively young wine. In the mouth, there's quite a lot of tannic grip. That's really typical of Nuits, but at the same time the flavour is delicate, it's insistent, it's not a full-bodied wine. It has some silkiness, perfume really, really long in the mouth, and I think that's what you're looking for in Pinot Noir generally. You're not looking for power, you're looking for the paradox of intensity without great body. Now, Radio-Coteau arrived in our portfolio only 5 years ago, and really by chance. Some of us were over in California visiting our suppliers. We went to a restaurant and picked something off the list that we'd never heard of. So this was an experiment. It was so good, we tried to get in touch with the producer and we tracked him down. It's a guy called Eric Sussman who took a circuitous route from New York to California and ended up making some of the best Pinot Noirs, Chardonnays, Syrahs of Sonoma County. Radio-Coteau is a phrase he picked up while working in France. It's an idiom that means word of mouth, but there's a literal sense, if you like, of broadcast from the hillside. And that's exactly what he, and really every Pinot producer of note, tries to do, to express a unique piece of land through their grape. See, the colour is actually lighter than the Nuits-Saint-Georges. The aroma more in a red fruit spectrum, more on the strawberry side, but also with some whole bunches in the mix, so some grape stems, and gives it a slightly herbaceous lift, which I personally find really, really attractive. In some ways, very dissimilar to the Burgundy, but at the same time, you get this equivalent sense of silkiness, precision, fluidity, and of an intensity of aroma in the mouth with light body. It's very subtle, and yet it's very immediate. So if wine is poetry expressed through flavour, then none is more lyrical than Pinot Noir. And if you follow producers like these with a strong track record and a real sense of the grape and the land it grows in, you too can enjoy all of the pleasure with less of the risk. Of course, if you buy now through Help for Hospitality, then restaurants, bars and pubs will also benefit, because the more you spend, the more we give. So have a flutter. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Cheers.